talk with Mr. Beer about his obsession with, and let's do that again. Okay. These days, most people get their video games online, straight from Steam or the PlayStation Store or whatever it is on Xbox. However, for Mr. Beer, a teacher at Solorio, he wants the analog. We're going to talk today about his obsession with cartridge games, disc games, and everything physical, dating back to the 90s and even into the 80s. Myself, I'm personally a tape head, love my VHSs, so I can understand where Mr. Beer is coming from. We'll have a great round of this or that. He's got some recommendations for you, and we'll talk about how video games are important, not just for enjoyment, but as pieces of history and stories. Enjoy the show.
Is the avocado? Oh, we're on.
Live. Yeah. Hey, everybody, we're here with Mr. Beer. We've got his favorite food in the background. That's avocado with ketchup.
Bad joke.
He'll give you the recipe for that on the next episode, or for our Patreon subscribers, you can find it there.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, Mr. Beer, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mr. Buse, for having me. Really appreciate it. It's been a dream of mine.
Great to have you here.
On your infamous YouTube channel. So
there we go.
I'm here.
So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Who are you? What do you teach? And where are you right now?
Okay. Well, my name is Mr. Beer. A lot of you guys probably know me. I teach a lot of different subjects, just ranges from year to year. This year I'm teaching a little bit of geometry, a little bit of world studies, a little bit of physics mixed in there. So it just kind of depends. But so I, freshman, sophomore, I've had class of juniors and seniors before too, but just a little bit of everything. So,
have you taught every subject or every department in all the core departments? I have not
taught every subject, but pretty close. Like in a general sense. So like math, English, social studies. But yeah, I haven't taught. I mean, the dream eventually would be Chicago history co-taught with Ms. Cronky. That would be that would be an awesome dream.
Shout out Ms. Cronky. Shout out Ms. Cronky.
And then an informal shout out to Ms. Cronky. But that would definitely be some sort of a dream,
And don't forget about our film studies course.
Yeah, our film studies course. Yeah. Those two, no particular order. Those would be the two dream courses. So.
And you taught PE as well, correct?
Oh yeah, I did teach PE. So my second year at Solorio, I taught 3 PE courses. So it was a blast. So
Mr. Beer teaches it all. So where are you? Obviously, you're not at school right now. No one's at school right now. Can you tell us about where you are?
Yeah. So I am down in my basement right now. Sitting on my couch down in my basement. This is my realm. This is my area. This is where I go down. I get my sanity. I watch Marvel movies, sift through video games. Pretty much one of the best places you could possibly be, besides Solorio.
Right. But sifting through video games. Usually when I hear video games, I imagine, I'm going to play video games. I'm going to watch someone else play video games. You're saying sifting. That's like you sift through sand. You collect things. You sift through them. You look through them.
What do you mean? I collect them. I own about 3,300 unique video games, meaning all different. And to put a little relativity in there. So when I came to Solorio, my first year there that fall, I think I had about 30 video games. So since then, I've accumulated over 3,000 different video games.
So that is 100 times. You've increased. That's 10,000% increase.
Yeah, I guess that is.
Is that right? I think
pretty
that's
big
right.
Increase.
And we're talking. I mean, these days I just get on my Steam account. I downloaded games. So these are all downloaded games.
No, these are not. These are physical copies of games. So when we say over 3,000, we're talking physical copies. I do have some downloaded copies. Like I got a Nintendo Switch and I got a couple things downloaded on there. But no, this is 99 point whatever % of my collection are physical, legit copies, not reproductions. So made whenever they were made. So.
And what systems are we talking about here?
Everything. So, I mean, you're going to have your mainstream systems. So like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. I got some Atari stuff. Game Boy, all the PlayStations, the Xboxes. Of course, some obscure consoles too. Like there's something called a 3DO. I got some games for that. Atari Jaguar, which nobody's probably ever heard of. The Vectrex, which is a great console that nobody's ever heard of. So just a little bit of everything. I'm a big fan of the obscure stuff, so I like everything.
Do you have any examples of any cartridges near you right now? I can edit it out. So if there's something really close by.
Yeah. No, I got some examples of stuff. So hold on one second.
And while you're standing up, I'll just fill in for students. I know that on some of these systems, you have almost a complete collection. I believe for Nintendo 64 and Super Nintendo, you have almost every single game ever published.
Yeah, for the Nintendo 64, so there were 296 games made in North America. So obviously there's more games made exclusive to other regions, but out of the 296, I think I need 38 left to get. Some of them are really cheap, but I'm cheap as well. So my goal is I don't ever want to pay market price for a video game. So market, we would say, would be eBay. So I don't want to pay full price for something that I could just pay for sitting down on my couch.
So
I want to go out, I want to find it.
This is a little bit like Adam Sandler's character in Uncut Gems.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
Great movie. Not officially recommending this.
He thought he got snubbed big time.
He did get snubbed, but I am not officially recommending Uncut Gems on this YouTube channel. Anyways, so you're finding these. Where are you finding these games? You can't go to GameStop and buy these. That'd be
I'm not big on GameStop. So basically, I go a little bit of everywhere to find them: garage sales, thrift stores, flea markets, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp. A lot of people are familiar with that. And really, it's not just video games. It's vintage toys. It's other stuff that I feel like I could flip to add to my video game budget. Anything that I could sell that could use to build up my collection is basically what I look for.
So what do you pull out of the collection right here?
All right, so here, and I just had these kind of like right up there. Oh yeah, and I'll pull out some more. Hold on one second here.
Okay. Yeah, and some of you may not. Again, I'll fill in while you're gone. Some of you may not have seen a cartridge for a while. All right, and then you got some discs too. It looks like.
Yeah, I got some discs and I got some cartridges. So here, I'll just start here. So this is the Sega CD. This is called Terminator. This is kind of how they came in. So they always put this foam pad in there. So this is in pretty good shape.
Sega CD.
Pretty rare game, yeah.
It's a rare system, even.
Yeah, it is. Sega CD is a pretty rare system. It was an attachment for the Sega Genesis, and you just kind of plugged it into the side, and it played these discs. So, but Terminator is a really cool game. Couple others that I have here. This is called Android Assault. So this is kind of like a side shoot 'em up. And you see, like, this is one of the reasons why I love video games. Just the artwork is really, really cool. It's got a very 90s, 80ish type of thing. You just don't see that artwork anymore. So I love the artwork. I love looking at the artwork, and that's part of the main reasons why I like it too. So those are a couple Sega CD games, couple Sega Genesis games here. So this is actually one of the most rare Sega Genesis games in existence.
Musha.
This is called Musha. It's a shooter. I mean, obviously the artwork is just unbelievable. It is complete. When I say complete, I mean it comes with the box, the cartridge, and the manual. This is extremely hard to find. Likely not able to find this in the wild, meaning flea markets or anything.
Where did you find? Was that an eBay buy?
No, so this was I actually got this at a place called Disc Replay, which is they sell used video games and CDs and electronics albums, whatever. And it was a really good deal. I couldn't believe nobody took it up. So I got this for well below market. Well below. It was definitely not market. So
very classy of you to never tell.
Yeah. And this is Crossfire. This is for the Genesis as well. This is kind of like a shooter game as well. It's like a third person, shooter kind of a game. So yeah, this is really, really cool as well. It's a cool game.
So with these games, what drove you to start collecting them? I mean, you mentioned the art. What drove you to start collecting games?
I guess I would say it was nostalgia. Definitely a nostalgic connection to them. I grew up playing them. Obviously, I remember playing Nintendo 64, getting those games for Christmas. I remember playing Super Nintendo. I remember, playing Xbox and the Halos and playing online and playing with friends and linking the systems together and all that. So, I really kind of started me getting a couple games that I really wanted. And then obviously it spiraled completely out of control.
Right. But so it's in a way, is it seems like what you're saying, and maybe I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it's almost like this is how you tell your history in a sense. Like you can tell your own history as a person through some of these video games. Like if I say the year 1996, what video games pop into your mind?
Man, I mean, it was around that time, so I would say like 1996 was like the beginning of like Nintendo 64. So I think of like Ocarina of Time, Zelda Ocarina of Time. I think of Super Mario 64, which were both revolutionary games.
And what I love is you mentioned Ocarina of Time. That's a Zelda game, fantastic.
Yeah.
Emulate
Yeah.
it if you can. I don't know if you can get it on Switch. And immediately, my mind, even you just saying that, my mind can hear the "Hey, listen," and it drops me
Oh,
back
that
into my
the little
basic.
fairy by your side. Yeah, and the music,
And
right?
and you can hear, and I can not only can I see and hear the game, but I can smell my basement. I can kind of
You can smell your basement.
well, I mean, not this basement. I'm saying like the memories of playing that game.
Yeah, I mean, and it was one of those games. There's a couple video games that if you really think back and you play it, it kind of like blows your mind, right? It's like, whoa, this is like game changing. And Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64 was game changing,
Yeah.
for sure.
And so, and I'm thinking about this too because I'm always telling students, it's difficult right now, kind of, to get work done because we don't have the structure of school. And I say, look, if you're already playing these video games, then that they can be great sources for your writing because it's important. It's
I mean,
important.
a lot of these video games were made by some really creative people. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, you can get a lot of ideas off of video games for sure. Obviously, video games are played a lot differently now than they used to be able to. Obviously, we're much more mobile now. But it's amazing that video games they're going to continue to evolve and continue to adapt to what the environment is like video games right now. I mean, during this quarantine, video games are going crazy for
Mm-hmm.
crazy prices. They're very popular. Nintendo Switches are sold out. Nintendo Wii's are sold out because people have to stay indoors, so they're playing video games.
Right, and it's a way to
So you
connect.
see,
It's a way to
yeah.
connect. It's a way to remember. It's a way to tell stories. I mean, it's a way to. So I think about the storytelling. I don't know if you ever played Max Payne.
Oh, love Max Payne.
Unbelievable story.
Yeah,
Great story.
great story. Sad story, but great
Yes,
story.
yes. But and then
Very
some
sad.
of the dream sequences. But I think I'm like maybe the future of fantastic narratives are largely in video games. So
It might be.
great. All right. So before we move into this or that, really quickly, let's go for students love these book recommendations, music recommendations, and then I'm going to ask you for a movie recommendation.
Okay.
Music, something to read, movie to watch. What would you say to students?
As far as music goes, I'll be honest. I like a little bit of everything. It just depends on what my mood is for that time. I could listen to anything from country music to could listen to a little Ice Cube.
Okay.
Back from the '90s. So I mean, it's honestly a little bit of everything. It's whatever striking my mood. I went through a whole phase last year where I loved like '90s alternative music from like Pearl Jam to like Blink 182 and all that stuff. So anyway, I just include a lot of different categories there for students, but I recommend giving a shot to anything in the '90s, especially students that are really into hip hop rap now. Go back, listen to like some of the '90s stuff like Ice Cube, Ace of Base.
Can you give them one
That was-
track? Can you give them one track to listen to, one song to listen to if they're on their Spotify right now?
If they're on their Spotify right now,
And they just looked up Ice Cube, what should they listen to?
the clean version of "It Was a Good Day."
Okay, the clean version of "It Was a Good Day."
There you go.
Great. Any books or articles or websites to recommend?
Books. I'll be honest. I'm not a huge reader. Okay, not gonna sit here and pretend that I'm like that I'm like in like 5 book clubs during this.
Let's do this. Let's do this. One video game to play for the story. One video game to play for the story.
One video game to play for just the story.
What's a video game with a fantastic story?
Man, I mean, if you go into some like the current gen stuff, I think like Last of Us is really good. That's like a horror thriller. Obviously, Ocarina of Time is amazing. Like that's incredible storytelling. And storytelling in video games have come like a really long way. They're more like movies now, versus video games. There's a whole production behind them and a high budget and all that stuff. So, I can't say Mario because Mario's story is the same every single time. Princess gets taken by Bowser. Mario comes in, jumps on a few things, and saves the princess.
It's over.
Right?
Yeah, throwing some Luigi, Waluigi, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, and then movie. And let's think about a movie here that maybe students haven't seen that you think, wow, that's a shame. So, for example, I immediately think of Speed with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock, one of the best movies to come out. So what's a movie you think that students haven't seen that they should watch?
Man, if I have to go back into my 90s catalog, I mean, I don't know how many students have seen like Breakfast Club. Breakfast Club is phenomenal. Like, it's good 80s pop culture there. Really love Breakfast Club a lot, written by John Hughes, who was a phenomenal writer that really related to his audience through his writing,
and with some good Chicago ties.
Yeah. Oh, he's born in Chicago. All of his movies were basically filmed in Chicago. So, really good ties to the area actually. But anything John Hughes is great. Uncle Buck is awesome with John Candy. If you're a John Candy fan.
I just watched The Great Outdoors.
I haven't seen that one.
It was great. I was expecting nothing. I was like, this is good.
That's got Dan Aykroyd, right?
Dan Aykroyd plays.
Dan Aykroyd, another just phenomenal actor.
Has some duds in there. But
oh yeah, who doesn't though?
Right.
Our boy Adam Sandler, he's had a few duds for about a decade.
I don't know. I thought Adam Sandler, all of his performances are perfect.
Okay. All right. You're a terrible liar.
Yeah. All right. Great. Well, I want to let you get out of here. So really quickly, you're going to finish up with a little bit of this or that.
Okay.
I'm going to run through 2 things, and you just get right off the top of your head.
Cool. I'm ready.
All right. Crocs or flip flops?
Flip flops.
Mondays or Fridays off?
Probably give me a Friday off. I'll take a Friday off.
Dessert or seconds?
Seconds, actually. I'm all about the seconds. Give me that buffet.
SNES or Genesis?
Ooh, man.
And SNES stands for Super Nintendo.
I know what it stands for. That's
for the students out there.
Gosh, SNES. All right. Well, man, that's pretty high tech there. I'd actually probably go with the Genesis.
Wow. Wings or burgers?
Burgers.
Sony or Nintendo? I know I already did SNES, but Sony or Nintendo?
I go Nintendo.
First period off or 8th period off?
8th period off, because then I'm able to go to, because I coach cross country and track, so I'm able to go to meets.
Odd numbers or even numbers?
Always been an even number guy.
Algebra? I loved the quickness with that one. Algebra or geometry?
You know what? Geometry is I actually have enjoyed geometry much more than I thought I would. So I'll go geometry.
Trapezoids or rhombuses?
Trapezoids are just more fun to say.
April or October?
April. It's my birthday.
Fantastic. All right, and for the last question of the day, we're thinking about philosophy, we're thinking about categories, we're thinking about classification, we're thinking about how we define language. So, is a hot dog a sandwich?
No,
Why not?
absolutely not. It's
Why
its own
not?
category.
What? So why isn't it a sandwich? A
You can
sandwich.
have a lot of different hot dogs. You can have a chili dog. You can have a hot dog with ketchup or mustard.
So how do you define sandwich? This is a word we use all the time. We assume we know what these words mean, and people disagree. So why isn't a hot dog a sandwich?
I think a sandwich is much more flat. Okay, hot dog is longer. I think of a sandwich as something that's either like square, rectangular, something that's more flat.
So you don't think Subway sandwiches are sandwiches?
You got to cut this out, right?
I'm not cutting this out because I'm interested in these language things.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I consider. I just think, but I think hot dog. But then you could also say Subway sandwiches are they're like submarines. But I guess they are sandwiches. I don't know. It's up for debate.
Think about it. Think about it. All right, there's your food for thought. Literally, pun intended. Mr. Beer, thank you for being on the show. It's been wonderful talking with you today, and hopefully we'll hopefully this doesn't go on for too long, but maybe we'll have to do an all movies episode sometime.
Let's do it again, man. Let's do it again.
All right, signing off. See you later, Mr. Beer. Okay, hold on. Let me stop recording. Wow, thanks, Mr. Beer. That was fascinating. I'll be sure to try to find my SNES and boot it up. Anyways, in the meantime, enjoy your weekends, everybody's. Keep reading, keep those pencils sharp, keep on doing that schoolwork, and stay safe out there. Signing off for now, this is Mr. Buse.